Hey folks, so wow, John Legend here basically destroys Trump, and it's sad. It really is, but y'all need to hear this. You really do. So let's check it.
Now, I know it doesn't take a prophet to guess who John Legend aligns with here, but listen to his reasons for having a less than positive point of view regarding.
First off, I don't know what he meant by that. Was he trying to insinuate that because they're both African American, you can guess who he's going to vote for? Well, buddy, uh, the reverse can be pretty much said for every other individual in the world. You know what I'm saying? People generally stick with their own. But we're not going to destroy your character just yet. So let's see what else he's talking about.
Trump.
One of the things that you hear from Trump's supporters is that he signed the First Step Act in 2018. He's a partner in this effort. What do you say to people who say, "Oh no, he would be an ally"? Look what he did in 2018.
He's not been an ally. I mean, I think the First Step Act was fine. It was a very kind of small reform, and to be honest, most of the reform we need is on the local and state level because most incarceration is local and state. And most of the laws that end up being criminally enforced are local and state laws. That being said, at the same time, he's claiming credit for those small things. He's also saying, if people are stealing something, they should get shot in the middle of the store.
His true feeling.
When we protested the killing of George Floyd, he was advocating for the military to shoot us in the streets.
Right. Treat us like animals.
He's made it clear throughout his life that he believes black people are inferior.
Inferior.
He believes that to his core, in his bones. He wouldn't let us live.
But y'all want to support this guy.
Back in the day. But also, when you hear some of the stray comments he makes, he clearly believes in a genetic hierarchy of humanity.
As if he would be on the top. Bottom.
So he is a tried and true, dyed in the wool racist. Like, in the core of his being, he's a racist. So I don't want to hear what he has to say about what he's done for black people. He's done very little for us. And
very little.
He is at his core truly a racist. And you even hear what he says about immigration and which countries he wants people to come in from. They all are very white.
That is true. Something pretty universal about them. So I know you were active on the campaign trail in 2020. You have a lot on your plate. Are you going to be out there campaigning for Joe Biden this fall?
Yeah, we'll get out there probably later in the year as it gets close to people making decisions about when it's time to vote. I think the choice is very clear. There's a lot been said about age and all these other things. Both of them are old. But one of them is a really decent man who's done a lot to improve lives in this country.
That's right.
And that's Joe Biden. That's who we're going to be voting for, and I'll be out there supporting him.
Before the MAGA contingent rush to minimize the decorated celebrity as null and void while booking Kid Rock for the next Trump rally, John Legend's points are not surface level here. In fact, they're historically backed. Trump has at every turn throughout his career both exploited and then demonized the black community, from calling for the execution of the now exonerated five, taking out a full-page article calling for the return of the death penalty.
Donald Trump has been railing about how unfairly the justice system is supposedly treating him, when in reality that treatment is actually pretty cushy compared to how people of color have been treated by the justice system for decades. At today's arraignment, Trump was not in handcuffs or leg shackles.
Come on now.
Shot taken. He didn't even have to sit in a holding cell. That is nowhere near the worst of what the criminal justice system has to offer.
Nowhere near.
A prime example of what inhumane treatment does look like is a case Donald Trump is quite familiar with, involving the now exonerated Central Park Five, who were wrongfully convicted of the rape of a white jogger more than 30 years ago. You'll remember Trump took out a full-page ad in 4 major New York City newspapers, calling for the state to adopt the death penalty and use it on the teens. Something he's never apologized for.
Wow. Wow.
I'm a two-time Trump voter, but in Harris. Trump is not running for the country or democracy. He's running to keep himself out of jail. He is a criminal and he should be prosecuted for his crimes.
He should.
Kamala is a prosecutor. She is going to uphold the rule of law.
That's
Trump
right.
tries to avoid the rule of law.
He certainly does. Criminal.
You have people on both sides of that. They admitted their guilt. If you look at Linda Fairstein and if you look at some of the prosecutors, they think that the city should never have settled that case. So we'll leave it at that.
To his...
Wow. Leave it at that. See, anytime any of these people are faced with a hard truth to admit, they always back out of admitting it. We'll leave it at that. They make any excuse at all possible not to answer the question, because they know if they answered it truthfully, you see the truth about them. I had a guy at work. Oh my God. This dude is a secret Trump supporter. If I ever seen one. Ever seen one. Every conversation, this guy is supporting the elites as if they cared about you. Twisting it around, talking about, oh, why it's not my job to take care of people. You know what? I don't see how you call yourself a Christian and you don't have compassion in your heart for those that are less fortunate. I'm not talking about those that are bucking the system, because if we're honest about that, 43% of Caucasians are the ones that's getting social services compared to 26% of African Americans. So who's really bucking the system? Huh? Yeah, that's what I thought. Do your research. Get your facts in order, you secret Trump supporter. Anyway, this guy, ridiculous. He's so sad of an individual that he sit up and use anything as an excuse to try and not be honest about the topic at hand. Talking about, oh, you're yelling at me. I'm not going to talk to someone that's yelling at me. So why do we still hear you? Huh? If you're not going to talk, why do we still hear you? Why are you still talking? And talking and talking until the point where I had you cornered and pent up so bad that you just had to exit disrespectfully. Oh, don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. Okay, fine. I don't have a problem not talking to you. It's not like you're anyone really to talk to. You know what I'm saying? Because your ignorance exudes so much from you that it's sickening. So I'm cool with not saying anything to you at all. And we're going to see how that go. We're going to see who breaks silence first. I know it won't be me. Trust that. I've avoided more interesting people than you before. So avoiding you would not be hard at all. But let's get back to the video.
Recent remarks claiming that, well, the reason he appeals to the black community more so these days is because he finds himself under criminal investigation. And I'll just take a step back and remind you of how that was received.
And then I got indicted a second time, and a third time, and a fourth time. And a lot of people said that that's why the black people like me, because they have been hurt so badly and discriminated against. And they actually viewed me as I'm being discriminated against.
Did y'all just hear that? See how stupid he is? He's so dumb. He tell on himself. They actually view me as being discriminated against. So now you know all y'all African Americans who said Trump is like us are idiots. You're an idiot because he is nowhere near being like us. Nowhere near. But you and your dumbness fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker. Let's finish watching.
Can you get more insulting?
I respect Stephen A. and the platform that he's built, but I respectfully disagree with him here. First off, let's talk about the simple statement that black people can relate to former President Donald Trump based on discrimination by the judicial system. He's not being discriminated against. So what Donald Trump did was make bad decisions, and because of those bad decisions, he's now been investigated. He's now been accused, alleged, and then now prosecuted.
Yes.
The one thing that black people can't relate to is having these run-ins with the law and being the president of the United States of America. We couldn't be the president of the 4-H club if we had this many run-ins with the law. We couldn't be the president of our own HOA. And so I think that's one thing that we need to get out and be very clear on.
That's right.
Also, when you agree with this, you're allowing him to break us down to the lowest common denominator. So you're saying all of these black people who now seem to support you only support you because they connect with you on your run-ins with the law, or only support with you because they connect with you on sneakers. So why can't we connect on diversity, equity, and inclusion? Why can't we connect on better medical care? Why can't we connect?
Because he feels like we're inferior. He feels like we're animals. Matter of fact, lower than animals, because they treat their dog better than us. They think more highly of their dog. You guys need to watch that video, The Doll Test. D-O-L-L. Doll. That's going to show you what the world thinks about the darker you are. The darker you are, the more hated you are in this whitewashed world. And the funniest thing about it is lighter people are the least. They're the minority. Look at it. Look how big Africa is. Look at Europe. But it's broken in half. Actually, it's broken in thirds, because a third of it belonged to the pale faces. And then a third of it belonged to the not as pale faces. And then the last third belonged to the darkest. Of a different breed, but still they get really dark. So you can't get away from the darkness. It's all throughout the world. You can't whitewash the world, but yet for thousands of years they've been trying. And psychologically, they got all of y'all believing that the lighter you are, the better it is. But in all actuality, the more of a devil you are. Because all of the devilish actions, the majority of them come from those people. Look at history. Look at throughout history what they've done. Let's finish the video.
Focusing on the mortality rate of black mothers. Why can't we connect on better schooling in the minority communities?
Because he don't think we're intelligent enough. But he's an idiot.
That we can only connect with you because you've been indicted?
Yeah, exactly.
We can only connect with you because you made ugly gold tennis shoes? And I think that's so insulting to even allege that that could be true. And let's be clear.
But they eating it up.
Donald Trump's existence is black. Donald Trump can't speak to the black existence. He can't speak to the historical prejudice and discrimination that black people have faced. Donald Trump has never had to get that talk from his mom. This is the way you deal with authority. This is the way you have to be outside the house. Donald Trump's parents never had to worry about will he or will he not make it home based on the color of his skin. See, the only discrimination we understand, the only run-ins with the criminal justice system that we get is that sometimes you are prosecuted, sometimes you are pulled over, sometimes you are searched based on being black. That's not something we can control. That's not something we were in charge of.
That's right.
That's who we are. Donald Trump
The truth.
has been investigated and indicted and on trial for who he is for making bad decisions.
Yes.
And let's be very clear about one more thing. Donald Trump hasn't been black. He will never be black. He doesn't understand what it's like to walk in a black man's shoes. And if he ever did, he'd realize that those shoes are too big and way too uncomfortable for him to wear for a day. And so I think,
wow,
as the support seems to grow for him in certain black communities, we have to be smart about why that support is growing.
Come on now.
We can't attribute with our acknowledgments or with our agreements that the lowest common denominator of us is that we all relate and have an affinity for those who break the law, because that's an untruth.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news.
Yes. Yes. Doggone. Yes. So, African Americans, because I don't use the term black, because that in itself is an insult to you. It's the same thing as Toby. They stole a man named Kunta and gave him Toby. So they stole our heritage, African, and gave us black, darkness, evil. Black. Really? And then they have white, purity, righteousness. Get out of here. The majority of them are so far from those characteristics. So far from it. It's a wish, a dream that's turned into a nightmare that the whole world has shared. That's all that color thing is. And we need to stop it. If you accept being called black, you're a Uncle Tom Sambo. That's the same thing as calling you slave. And you can tell it because of the innuendo behind what they're saying. There's no respect in black. None whatsoever. People from Africa don't call themselves black. At least not real Africans. Ones trying to get mainstream. Yeah, they sell out. But accepting black is a sellout. If you didn't understand that before, understand it now. It's a slave term. It means slave. Black pride, slave pride. What's to be proud of? The fact that we survived, that's about it. Other than that, nothing. The treatment and horrors and tortures that we went through as a people, and we still have to endure the shame today in the name. Black equals slave. Don't forget that. It's crazy. It's crazy. And all at the hands of some of them. Not all of them. Look at that. He don't look white. He look very pink to me. We need to revamp that color scheme. You know what I'm saying? Because they got a color that's attributed to them that shouldn't be. Only albinos are white, if you want to be technical. But we're supposed to be the dumb ones. Huh? But y'all keep coming with all this dumb stuff. Albinos are white. Not you. You're pink. Proof is in the pudding. Look at it. It don't matter how many of them you look at. Same answer. Pink, pink, pink. So if you ask me, we should start calling them the pinks. You want to degrade us and call us black? That's garbage. Anybody that says that ought to be smacked in their face. Black. Wish you would. Call me black. You better get back. You might soon be under attack. Being disrespectful, trying to be slick with it. Yeah, I'm going to show you slick. You gonna learn today. Your boy don't play. And sure enough, this ain't Burger King. You ain't gonna have it your way. Get it right or get rolled over. But at the same time, I wish everyone blessings. Because we're not out here to hurt nobody. But we definitely not gonna let anyone hurt us. Peace.